Welcome to Transformational Vedic Astrology, as taught by American Institute of Vastu. Today we're going to look at Nancy Pelosi's chart. The time has been rectified since there is no birth time given. Basically, if you looked at the eastern horizon when she was born, you would see the constellation associated with Aquarius rising at 2 degrees. 2 degrees becomes the most effective point of every house. So any planet like Mars that's within 5 degrees of that 2 degree, it becomes very powerful, has big impact in our life. So first we're going to do is look at how the planets are operating, and then we'll look at when they're operating. So we also look at which houses have one of the Multicona signs. So 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11 are the Multicona signs. So, for example, the first sign of Aries is in the 3rd house. That means that business and communication, big part of her focus in this life. Then we see the 4th sign of Cancer in the 6th house. 6th house, so health, concern for health care for others, working with the public. These are main things, and being involved in conflict. Would be the big things in her life. Then research, 6th sign, the Multicona sign, Virgo, Libra in the house of good fortune, law, justice, politics. Jupiter ruling the sign of Sagittarius in the house of income for friendships and fulfillments. Those are focus. And then the 11th sign of Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, in this house, 1st house of life purpose. So those are the main things she's working on, this which represents service. So Sun at 12 degrees, it's ruling the house of partnerships. So she's very focused. Sun is leadership and organizational skills and politics. So through partnerships, she became involved in politics, which is all about relationships. And she's a very strong team member. Also, during a Sun period, her dad was elected mayor. Sun is also a father. Moon is at 18 degrees. It rules the 6th house. Now remember, any sign that's in the 6th or the 8th or the 12th house, its ruler becomes functional malefic. So Moon rules the sign of Cancer, the 4th sign of Cancer, in the 6th house of health and conflict. So delays, setbacks, things like that can happen in that house. So Moon, it represents strong feelings for public health care system. She was very concerned about getting public health care for people. Moon represents the public. It represents feelings, intuition, etc., nurturing. So Mars is at 2 degrees. So any planet that's less than 5 degrees or more than 25 becomes weak, and it cannot protect or promote its own significations. So Mars rules Aries in the 3rd house of business, communication, and success. So it's slightly weak, and it's placed in the house of family. So it makes her a very good communicator and brings happiness through family. She had 5 children. Mercury is at 24 degrees. It's ruling this 8th house, so it becomes functional malefic as well. and so it can cause some challenges at times. So Mercury's in the first house, so that means that her life purpose has to do with communication, and it can bring some conflicts. Communication that involves research into getting to the truth of things, but it can also bring some obstacles and conflicts. Jupiter is at 24 degrees, and it is placed in the second house of wealth and recognition. It represents husband and law and politics. And so Jupiter is ruling the house of income, friendships, and fulfillment of desires. So her desires get fulfilled through speaking. This is a house of speech and recognition. So she is the speaker of the house and has a strong husband. And income comes through her husband. He made some very good investments. Now, Venus is at 26 degrees. So Venus is ruling the seventh sign of Libra, which you find in the ninth house of good fortune, politics, religion. She's a very religious person. Venus is in this house of communication. So that means that she gains good fortune through her communication abilities and her compassion for other people. Saturn is ruling Aquarius, which you see in the first house of life purpose. So it means life purpose comes through the qualities of Saturn, which is service and commitment and discipline and being in this house of communication. So she is, again, speaker of the house. Rahu and Ketu are, Rahu is in the eighth house. That means desire for research, desire for to know what things that are hidden. And Ketu's here, gives a spiritual accent to speech and recognition and wealth. So those are the main things about Nancy's chart. Now we look at when the planets were operating. So in 1947, her dad was elected mayor of Baltimore. That was during a Jupiter period, Jupiter representing, or a sun period actually, that represented father, sun subperiod. 1962, she got a degree, got married, had some children. Jupiter represents husband and children, and Jupiter represents income of a degree. See, she got 5 children during a Saturn period. So Saturn is represents life purpose, to be a great mom and grandmother, and she's very into that. And then during, she became the first woman speaker during a Venus period. Venus in the house of speaking and communicating, and Venus representing good fortune. So those are how the planets are operating. Now, what could we do to remedy the chart? So we want to transform the malefics and strengthen the benefics. So Rahu, Ketu, and we said that Moon and Mercury all need to be transformed. So Moon is helping women, so she's very much into women's rights. Helping children, Mercury, and she's very much into children being taken care of at the border and all the children's lunches or breakfast meals and education, all of that's very important to her. Then Rahu, uh, by helping those who cannot help themselves. I think that's what she does. And K2 is about bringing spirituality into what she does. I think she has some aspect of that as well. So strong desire to uncover the truth. So these can be transformed by helping spiritual organization and helping people who cannot help themselves. The other planets need strengthening. Sun would give her, better relationships. Moon with a kavash. That's a locket that contains the devata yantras for each of these planets to strengthen them. So wearing that or keeping that to your bed will have a strong influence in strengthening these planets. But Sun, yeah, will bring better relationships. Moon will bring stronger intuition. Mars will bring better communication, family life. Mercury would bring greater ability to research and to communicate. Yeah. And Jupiter would be giving her strong advantage in politics. Venus would give stronger good fortune through communication, and Saturn would bring stronger political ability to help others, serve others. So those are the main points of Nancy Pelosi's chart. If you would like a personal reading, using transformation Vedic astrology, which gives you the remedies and what's to come, and how you could be prepared for that, whether it's a boost in your career or some obstacles in your career, relationships, health, or finances. You can just go to vastucreations.com and look under services, astrology readings, and we have several different types of readings to choose from: a 3-year reading, a yearly reading, a compatibility reading, a reading to find out the best timing to do certain things, and questions that you have about your career. So thank you for listening, and if you would like to learn how to do this transformation Vedic astrology, which is very practical, to the point, simple, you can go to American Institute of Vastu and sign up under astrology level 1 and level 2, where you can be certified to be a astrological therapist. Thank you so much again for listening.